First off, wanted to get your take on Charlie Kirk's popularity with Gen Z. Why do you think he appealed to some in that generation?
Well, I think it's important to remember how he became who he was. He came of age over the last 10 years during a time kind of alongside President Trump. Charlie Kirk started Turning Point USA, the organization this conservative youth organization. He started it in 2012. That was a time when it was, I think, fair to say, less popular to be a young conservative. And he wanted to find a kind of a space for young people on college campuses to organize. And that has, in the last 10 years, gone from being what was seen then as a fringe movement to fairly mainstream alongside President Trump. And I think Kirk was in many ways a young MAGA leader for a lot of people that maybe voted for President Trump, but needed a little extra help connecting with him. I think Kirk was a link for a lot of people, and a more accessible one. He was very, he had a huge following on social media, tens of millions of followers across, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And so, his platform was huge, and he created this big network.
Okay, and with that huge following, you have reported how some of those young conservatives are now reacting to Kirk's death in the last few days. What have they told you?
Yeah, people are heartbroken. It's a really, striking moment because Charlie Kirk was hated by a lot of people and loved by a lot of other people. I talked to a member of Congress, a Florida Congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna, who she credits her career to Kirk because she came up through his organization, Turning Point USA. And so I think a lot of people are just feeling, in their words, like very heartbroken. And it stands really in stark contrast to the other side of the aisle, where there are a lot of people who found Kirk incredibly divisive and often, saying very deeply offensive things.
Now, one of the striking realities of this story is that so many young people watched the video of it on their phones, even if news agencies censored it. What do you think the impact of that will be?
It's such a hard question because I think for many Gen Z Americans and young people around the world, young people have been exposed at a very early age, this generation particularly, to these really tragic, often traumatic events. And so I'm going to be watching to see, does this tragedy, this assassination galvanize people to get more involved, or rather, does it scare people from sharing their views? And then on top of that, does it not make much of a difference because of the cycle that we're in and the amount of horrific things that young people are seeing really every day online?
So many layers to this story. Thank you so much for your time on this today.
Thank you.